Green card marriages. Avoid those 3 mistakes and you should be fine. Bijoux Ngwanda here, immigration lawyer in the DC metropolitan area. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. But if you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing, and please don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. If you enjoy the content, again, please go ahead and share, like. Don't forget to comment below. Also, don't forget to join us on our private Facebook group where we answer questions live at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. Let's get right into it. 3 mistakes you must avoid when it comes to green card applications based on marriage. Number 1, taxes. You should not file separately when it comes to taxes. Tax return must be filed jointly, period. The moment you file tax return separately, you are sending a red flag. The moment the USCIS officer just sees it, it's a red flag. So how are you going to prove that this marriage is a bona fide marriage enter in good faith when you're doing things separately? When it comes to your finances, you're filing taxes separately. What is the possible explanation to it? Really, you don't have any. To be honest with you, you have nothing as far as explanations are concerned when it comes to tax return. You are trying to file this green card, and you're trying to prove, because the burden of proof, remember, is on you, on the applicant, to prove that they are qualified for the benefit sought, right? And if you're filing taxes separately, you're sending a clear message that you guys are not together or not really intending to stay together, okay? So please just go ahead and file jointly in order to really avoid a denial, okay? As simple as that. Number 2, this is a trick actually. This happens a lot, at least in my personal experience. When I go with people, my client, to the interview, the first thing the officer will ask them is to show IDs. Show your IDs, please. They will show their driver license. Just know that the officer is not just looking at the ID because they want to verify if you are the actual applicant or you are the person who's coming to the interview. They just want to verify, actually, on top of verifying the identity of the person, they want to see if the address, okay, the address on the driver license of both applicants are the same, from the beneficiary and from the petitioner, if it's the same address. That's number 1. Number 2, they want to see whether the address you provided on the driver license is the same address that you gave them when you're giving them the lease agreement. They really want to see that too, to just make sure that you're actually living together and you're living at the address that you provided. That's really a trick. When they're asking you to pull your IDs, driver license, or just state ID, something that has address, physical address on it, just know the purpose behind it. It's just not only to verify your identity, but to verify the address, the physical address that you put there in the application, whether it matches what is on your driver license or whether both of you have the same addresses on your driver licenses. Really make sure that it matches. If it doesn't, make sure that you have an explanation, a clear, concise explanation as to why. For example, let's say the lease agreement has a different address from the driver's license. Then you can perhaps say that the driver license was issued to me probably at this year, because it says on the driver license where it was issued. It was when it was issued, and then the lease agreement too will have a date when the lease agreement was changed, right? now you know, they will see that, well, you just got into this apartment and this address on the travel license was from the previous apartment, right? And the date has to really give sense in terms of, if you said that on your application start living with the spouse from this date to this date and the lease agreement doesn't say so, that's another problem. So avoid that. Avoid that mistake. It's really a trick. And if you can avoid it, just know that you should be fine, okay? Lastly, third mistake or something to avoid, really big no, is don't forget what you ate last night, the day prior to the interview. This is something really small, but so major in a way, because really what the office is trying to see is that if you live together, if you are in a bona fide marriage, because we know with sham marriages, a lot of people do those documents just to get benefit, right? If you don't get caught, if they don't catch you, then you're fine, right? But if you really get caught, if they find out it's fraud, then you permanent bar, right? We know that. So that's something to just avoid. But what I'm saying here is this: they want to know whether or not you are living into a bona fide marriage, whether or not this marriage is bona fide. Marriage into in good faith with intent to stay, whether you know this person, whether or not is it fake. So they have ways, simple ways, very simple. What did you eat last night? And this question gets asked separately. They'll put you in a different home and they'll put your spouse or your beneficiary in another home. Then they ask the same question: what did you get for dinner? Usually it's dinner or breakfast or lunch, right? The same question from the day before the interview, just one day before the interview. You have to remember that, and it has to be the same answer, because the moment it's not the same answer, it's just a red flag. Right there, it's a red flag. So those three things, small but major in a way, it can save you, it can save your application, and you can get your benefit granted. Okay, so it's not the only things, but I've seen people getting denied because of those three elements. And when they get the denial letter out, they will put those specific facts and the question that was asked and the answer that was given, and you'll be surprised. Simple questions like that, really. And what we're talking about here, we're talking about preparation. You really have to be prepared, even if you know the person for a very long time. Lack of preparation will lead to a denial. Okay? Bijoux Ngwanda here, immigration lawyer. Until next time, bye-bye.